Beloved saints, today's 5-minute message of redemptive history is about Athaliah, a king omitted from the second period in the genealogy of Jesus Christ, Part 2, from the 4th book of Redemptive History series, God's Profound and Mysterious Providence. In Part 1, we examined how Athaliah destroyed all the royal offspring from the house of Judah. At this time in Part 2, let us learn how Athaliah was put to death as part of Jehoiada's reformation and share God's grace together. After 6 years of Athaliah's wicked regime, Jehoiada the priest finally made a determination. He sent for the commanders of units of 100, the Carites and the guards, and had them brought to him at the temple of the Lord. He then made a covenant with them and put them under oath, and showed them Joash, the 7-year-old prince. How astounded and overjoyed they must have been when Jehoiada showed them Joash, whom they thought had been killed by Athaliah 6 years ago, along with all of David's descendants. Although Joash was only a 7-year-old boy, the fact that an offspring of David was still alive must have been a great hope, consolation, and joy to those who held on to God's covenant with a seeking heart. Since Jehoiada had to start a revolution without the knowledge of Athaliah, he chose a Sabbath day as the date of the insurrection. He commanded 1/3 of the soldiers who come in on the Sabbath to keep watch at the king's house, 1/3 at the gate sur, or the foundation gate, and 1/3 at the gate behind the guards. Jehoiada stationed the Levites and the people to surround the king with their weapons in their hands. Then Jehoiada brought out the king's son and put the crown on him. He presented him with a copy of the covenant and proclaimed him king. They anointed him, and the people clapped their hands and shouted, "Long live the king!" The king stood by the pillar with the captains and the trumpeters guarding him, and all the people of the land rejoiced, blew trumpets, and singers with their musical instruments led the praise. Then Athaliah, who heard the noise, went to the temple of God. When she saw what was happening, she tore her clothes and cried, "Treason, treason!" Even though she was the one who had usurped David's throne, she cried out saying that Joash's becoming king was an act of treason. Then Jehoiada gave the command to have Athaliah and whoever followed her put to death with the sword after she came out of the house of God and arrived at the entrance of the horse gate, which is a gate for the horses of the royal family of the king's house. When Athaliah arrived at the entrance of the horse gate, she was put to death by the sword of the people. 2 Kings 11 verse 20 states, "So all the people of the land rejoiced, and the city was quiet, for they had put Athaliah to death with the sword at the king's house." Everyone, the meaning of Athaliah is, "whom the Lord has afflicted." From the start of her marriage, Athaliah took on the role of Satan's puppet and tried to put out the holy lamp of Judah in order to turn its history into the history of darkness. As a result, Athaliah, who stood against God, was eventually afflicted by God and died a miserable death. Beloved saints, when the nation was in danger of a total collapse due to Athaliah's great massacre of David's royal family, God re-established the covenant of David through Jehoiada the priest. God removed Athaliah and enthroned Joash, allowing peace and new hope to come upon Judah. Likewise, it will be the same in the end time. When Jesus Christ, the King of all kings, comes, the devil, the false ruler of the world, and his subjects will be destroyed. Then God will give us a blessing of true peace. Let us trust in God and only look toward him and be victorious. I bless in the name of the Lord.